alien abduction. Pete was plastering a wall when suddenly he got a text from Patch. It read, "Come round tonight, mate, I've got that Formula 1 video." It was from his mate Patch. Pete texts back, "Okay mate, see you about 7. Later that night, Pete arrived at Patch's caravan and they watched the F1 DVD, which was mainly dominated by Ferrari victories. "Well, that was excellent," said Patch. "Fucking load of old shit," Pete returned. "Let's go for a pint, Pete," Patch suggested. "Okay mate, can I kip over so I can have a few?" Patch agreed and the pair set off walking to the Woods End Tavern. After half an hour they arrived at their destination. They had several pints and a few bags of nuts and left for home. After about half a mile, Patch said, "What the fuck is that?" He was pointing up into the sky. Pete followed the path of Patch's finger and saw what looked like a circular glowing ball, a bit like the sun but a lot larger. "We're fucking pissed, we must be," Pete questioned. "It's getting bigger," Patch said in a slow, nervous voice. The glowing shape seemed to grow larger and drop down from the sky and hover a few feet from the ground. They got a bit scared and began running. Pete slipped on a dead rabbit and fell to the ground. Patch stopped running and turned to help his friend. Suddenly, before Patch could stretch out his hand to pull Pete up off the road, a thin greyish in colour, human-like figure, but with a larger head and big black almond-shaped eyes, pulled Pete up and pulled him into a ray of light that was projected from the orb. His body then left the tarmac and was suddenly hoisted straight up to the orb and disappeared. Patch stood there with his mouth wide open. The creature then seemed to smile at him, and without even thinking, Patch walked into the light and the same happened to him. After an hour or so, the pair woke up on 2 stainless steel beds, naked. They had no restraints, but neither of them could move off their beds. Patch, however, did manage to speak. "What the hell's happening? Please let this be a dream." Pete didn't speak. Then in walked 5 of the creatures. They remained silent, but both Patch and Pete could communicate with them. It must have been some sort of telepathy. "I'm not a bastard," Pete said. The creatures all appeared to smile. One of them stuck a pipe up Patch's arse, causing him to fart very loudly. They then did the same to Pete, but he didn't fart, he just shit everywhere. Some hit a creature in its mouth. Patch laughed and the creature smacked him on the penis with a metal object. "What the fuck? You fucking wank face," Patch shouted, and at last managed to leap up, grabbing one by the throat. He head-butted it. It fell to the floor. He then stood on its head and it crushed like a watermelon. The other creatures all left. All let out a horrifying scream and ran. Pete leaped up and left a trail of excrement behind him. He kicked an alien into its back and it fell onto a sharp, long object, piercing its torso in the process. It died instantly. The remaining 3 stood together and their eyes all went white. Patch and Pete could clearly hear in their heads the aliens talking. They said, "Sorry if we have caused you any alarm. We didn't mean to. Please will you accept our apologies?" Pete said, "Okay, that's fine. But you have to let us go." They then said, "Let us give you whatever you desire first as our apology." The next day, Patch opened his curtains, realising he was in an old Gothic castle with fully updated interior. Outside the window was a Ferrari Enzo, standing next to an Olympic indoor swimming pool with a gym next to it. "Fuck me," he said. Pete woke up, opened his eyes, and was in between a naked Lewis Hamilton and Jensen Button. The end.